When you create a game, you work with events and actions. One event can have several actions. Event and action is created in the event sheet editor. As an example, we want to make the player aiming at the mouse. So you right click and insert an event. Select the system event. There is an event that is called always, which is called all the time. And you find it under system. You can also speed up finding by clicking one of the tab system here below. Double click and you get always shown here in the event sheet editor. And here you can select an action. Left click the text, new action. We double click the sprite and set angle toward position. Double click. We want the mouse X and the mouse Y. And to make it simpler, you can double click system and select mouse tab. Get mouse X and select Y coordinates and select mouse Y. Remove this and let's finish. Check this out. Alright, let's add the bullet. We want the player to be able to shoot. Double click, sprite, place, open, graphics, bullet, close, save, yes. And here we have the bullet. Now it's a good practice to name the sprites. Then it would be easier to know what we are working on. So in the common properties, you can rename it to bullet. The player sprite, name it to player. Now we want the bullet to move. Remember that we added movement to the player, 8 direction movements. We have to do the same action with the bullet sprite. So select bullet, expand movements, new movement, and now we select the bullet movement. By default, the bullet movement treats the bullet or the sprite as non-solid. This means that it goes through walls and every sprite everywhere, and it doesn't stop for anything. In the layout editor, some objects can be added just to specify functionality. So when you run the game, you can't see the object, but it gives functionality to the game. We double click the layout editor and choose mouse and keyboard. Double click. And you will see here to the right mouse and keyboard in the all object section. Yes, of course, this is to detect mouse and keyboard. So you will get more events and actions. So let's add a new event. This has been placed in the new trigger construct dialog box. Double click, select mouse on click, default is fine. Let's click new action. Now from the player we want to shoot out the bullet. We want to spawn the bullet, spawn the sprite. And spawn is creation, spawn another object, and we want the bullet to be spawned. and let's click finish. Notice that the bullet comes from the head or from the middle of the sprite. Another problem that we have to fix is that the action is only triggered on a single left click mouse button. We want it also to be double click mouse button. In Construct you can copy and paste events by using Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. Select the whole event, copy and paste. Now we can edit the event. Double click, click type, double clicked, finish. Now it's fired on every click event. Now we try to fix the problem with the bullet coming from the middle of the sprite. This means it is coming from the pivot point or the origin point. To solve this, we can choose an image point in the image editor. To do this, we switch to the layout editor, select the player object, and we choose the animator tab and double click. Okay, we want to create an image point where the bullet will spawn from. And here we have the image point. And we can add a name to it. Select bullet and click here. Now, when you have saved the image point configuration, you click the event sheet editor, and we will have to edit both actions for left clicked and double clicked. We double click here to edit, and here we can use an image point number or an image point name. So if no name is given in the image editor, you use the number. If you assign a name for the image point, you write the name in quotation marks, the string characters, like this, and click finish. And do the same with the double click. Save, project, run. And you see the bullets coming from the pipe.